Good morning, students. This is your Shanghita ma'am, and today we will read a poem named Lord Ullin's Daughter by Thomas Campbell. So, Thomas Campbell was born on 27th of July 1777 at Glasgow in Scotland, and he died in 1844 and was buried in Westminster Abbey. So at first let me discuss the story in short. It is a story of a Scottish chieftain from Ulva's Isle who wished to marry Lord Ullin's daughter against her father's wish. Hence she eloped with her lover. The chieftain and his beloved were chased by the kinsmen on horses. He therefore urged the boatman to ferry them across the Lough to the island. The chieftain told the boatman about his true love. The chieftain also offered the boatman some money. Lord Ullin's daughter too expressed her fear of separation. She said that she would rather meet the storm than face her angry father. The boatman agreed to ferry them for the sake of the lovely daughter of Lord Ullin, despite the impending storm. Unfortunately, the boat carrying the chieftain and his beloved in the stormy sea started to sink, and the tempest gathered around them. Lord Ullin, at this point, reached the shore only to see his daughter struggling in the storm. At once, his wrath or his anger transformed into repentance, as she and her lover both were drowning in the sea. Lord Ullin was completely devastated at the scene. He cried in grief, persuading his daughter to come back. But his daughter stretched out one hand for help. Her other hand was around her lover, but it was too late. Lord Ullin's daughter, the chieftain, and the boatman, they were all drowned that night. So now, students, let's start reading the poem, Lord Ullin's Daughter. It is in your literature book in page number 69. A chieftain to the highlands bound cries, "Boatman, do not tarry, and I will give thee a silver pound to row us over the ferry." So here in this line, chieftain means the chief or the head of a clan. What is the meaning of clan? Clan means a group of families or tribe. Tarry means delay. The is an archaic word, Middle English word. It means you. And what is the meaning of ferry? Ferry means the commercial service for taking a person across a river. So here, the chieftain who is going to the highland, he cried and he said to the boatman not to make late. If he takes him and his beloved, that is Lord Ullin's daughter, across the Lough, he will give him a silver pound. Silver pound means money. As a reward, he will give him money. Now let's change the page. Come to the next page, that is page number 70. Now, who be ye would cross Lough this dark and stormy weather? Oh, I am the chief of Ulva's Isle, and this Lord Ullin's daughter. So Ulva is the name of an island in the inner Hebrides of Scotland, and Ulva is the name of an island in the inner Hebrides of Scotland. And what is Lough? Lough means it is a lake. So here Lough means it is a sea loch which separates Grimmen or Mull from Ulva to the north. Isle means an island. So here in the stanza, the poet is saying the boatman asked who he was, who is willing to cross Loggile Lake in this stormy and dark weather. The chieftain answered that he was the chieftain of Ulva Island, and with him it was Lord Ullin's daughter, who was his beloved. So here, ye, it is also an archaic word. It means you. Okay, ye means you. Okay. Now let's come to the next stanza, that is the third stanza. And fast before her father's men, 3 days we have fled together. For should he find us in the glen, my blood would stain the heather. So what is the meaning of glen? Glen means a deep narrow valley, especially in the mountains of Scotland. And heather means low spreading plant with woody stems, small spiky leaves, and purple or pink or white flowers. So in this stanza, here the chieftain is telling that it makes us before our father's men and come and get them. So he is telling that please hurry up. The boatman, he is telling the boatman that please hurry up before Lord Ullin's daughter's father, Lord Ullin, come and get them. We have fled together for 3 days, so they have escaped, and they are escaping together for the 3 days. If her father finds us, he would stain the heather plant with my blood. That means the chieftain would be killed by Lord Ullin because he has fled with his daughter. So he was very scared. So that's why he told the boatman to hurry up. Now let's read the next stanza. His horsemen hard behind us ride. Should they our steps discover, then who will cheer my bonny bride when they have slain her lover? So here bonny means attractive and slain means killed. So Lord Ullin's armed horsemen are chasing them very close. If they find and get them, then who will make his beautiful beloved happy? Because he is sure that they will kill him. Now let's read the next stanza. Out spoke the hardy Highland wit, I will go, my chief, I am ready. It's not for your silver bright, but for your winsome lady. So here winsome means, it means pleasing because of a childlike charm and innocence. So in this fifth stanza, the boatman is saying, the boatman who is very strong and brave, he also belongs to the high mountain region. So that is why he is very strong and brave, just like the chieftain. He said to the chieftain that he would go taking them across the river, Loggile, but not for money. He would take them for his beautiful lady, because the lady looks very miserable. So that is why he would take them from one side of the river to the another side of the river, because the lady seemed very miserable and the lady was very beautiful and attractive. So to help them, he will help them. And by my word, the bonny bird in danger shall not tarry. So, though the webs are raging white, I will row you over the ferry. So the boatman says that he swears not to keep the lady, that is Lord Ullin's daughter, in danger any more. Though webs are getting violent and furious and foaming as well. Foaming means here the word white is used for the word foaming. He will make them cross the Loggile River. So here by my word means swearing by my word. Bonny bird. Bonny bird means Here Lord Ullin's daughter, who was very beautiful lady. Tarry means, I already said, tarry means delay. Here to remain, to stay. Okay. So he doesn't want to delay. He didn't want to delay, as he wants to cross the Lochgyle river because the storm was approaching and the waves were raging. The waves looked very angry and they are foaming. They looked wide because of the foam. So he wants to cross the river as soon as possible. By the storm grew loud apace, the water wraith was shrieking, and in the scowl of heaven each face grew dark as they were speaking. So here in this stanza, wraith means ghost, scowl means dirty look. So in the meantime, the storm turned to be a rough and violent one. It seemed as if the water ghost was shouting. The sky turned dark, and the turbulence of the sky looked as if of frowning look, which brought darkish flush on the face of all three. That means all three of them on the boat, they were scared to death because the storm was approaching. And the sky looked violent and the waves are rushing. The waves are angrily frowning. So just like a human being, it was frowning. So personification has been used over here. The water wraith was shrieking. So here water wraith is the ghost or the spirit of water or demon. And scowl of heaven, it means the frowning look of the sky or heaven, as it is said about the tumult in the sky for storm. Let's go to the next page. But still, as wilder blew the wind, and as the night grew drearer, adown the glen rode armed men, their trampling sounded nearer. Oh, haste thee, haste, the lady cries, though tempests around us gather. I will meet the raging of the skies and not an angry father. So thee, it means you. Haste means fast, raging means angry. So here in this stanza, Lord Ullin's daughter requests the boatman to move faster and faster. Though the wild windstorm is there, she wouldn't prefer to face the anger of the sky than to face her angry father. So, Lord Ullin's daughter was willing to face the angry storm, but she didn't want to face her angry father. Here, tempest means violent storm and raging means angry. As she already knew that her father would be very angry, so that was why she didn't want to meet her father. The boat has left a stormy land, a stormy sea before her, when oh, too strong for human hand, the tempest gathered over her. After they left the stormy land, they got the stormy sea before them, and the storm was more powerful than any of them, and ensured their defeat. It means that they would surely be defeated against the raging nature. The nature was more powerful. The raging sea was more powerful than any human beings. Here we can see that nature becomes more powerful than the human beings. So here trampling means walking over, amidst means among, prevailing means overcoming, and fatal means deadly. And still they rode amidst the roar of waters fast prevailing. Lord Ullin reached the fatal shore, his wrath was changed to wailing. So here in this stanza, here it means that they fought hard against the deadly webs of water, till their last breath. In the meantime, Lord Ullin came to the fatal shore. The anger he bore against them changed into mournful wailing. As he can see, wailing means repentance. He was crying, he was repenting, as he could see in front of his own eyes that his own daughter was drowning into the sea. So he started mourning. For so dismayed through storm and shade his child he did discover. One lovely hand she stretched for aid, and one was around her lover. So, through the storm and shade, in pain and shock, he found his child. The beautiful girl stretched her one lovely hand towards her father, meaning she wants him to save them. To save, and the other was her other hand was around the lover, which was even dear to her. So here we can see that Lord Ullin's daughter was torn between the two human beings. In one side it is her lover, and in another side it was her father. So she couldn't choose between them. So here we can see the conflict that she found herself in. Come back, he cried in grief. Across the stormy water, and I will forgive your Highland chief, my daughter, oh my daughter. It was in this situation that Lord Ullin understood his fault and requested his daughter to come back, and promised her to forgive her lover as well. He was wailing at the shore, as he could see in front of her own eyes that all of them were drowning into the sea. So he started crying. He suddenly realized that it was his own daughter who was drowning at the sea. So he couldn't stop his fatherly affection for his daughter. It was vain, the loud waves lashed the shore, return or aid preventing. The waters wild went over the child, and he was left lamenting. So lamenting, the word lamenting here is the meaning is written over there, expressing sadness or disappointment. So the big, violent, loud waves had made the logile terrible. So no aid or no help from outside or no return of them from water was possible. A big wave dashed over his child, and he was left mourning. That means they all three of them, those who were on the boat, the boatman, Lord Ullin's daughter, and also the boatman, all three of them drowned into the sea in the violent raging storm in the Lochgyle River, and Lord Ullin couldn't help them by any means. Now students, let me discuss some of the poetic device which are used in this poem. So here in the fourth stanza, he is horseman hard beneath, the consonant sound H, his horseman hard H. The consonant sound H is being repeated here, so it is an example of alliteration. Next, bonny bird, here B, bonny burr. The consonant sound B is being repeated over here, so that is why it is also an instance of alliteration. The water wraith was shrieking. I have already told you here the poet has used personification. Here the water has been personified as a ghost. When an inanimate object is personified into as a human being, it is called personification. So here water or the violent sea here has been compared with a ghost. So it is an instance of personification. Okay. In the last stanza also there are instances of alliteration. Left lamenting. Okay, consonant sound L is being repeated over here. Waters wild went. W is being repeated over here. So these are the instances of alliteration. Wilder blew the wind. Here the wind has been compared as a wild child. So here personification is also used. In this poem, the poet has used many imagery. What is an imagery? Imagery refers to something that can be perceived through more than one senses. It uses figurative language to help from mental pictures. Some of the imageries that are used in the poem are webs are raging white, water wraith was shrieking, raging of the skies, stormy land. You can almost picturize these scenes in front of your eyes. So these are beautiful imageries. These imageries portray not only the turmoil that surrounds the scene of the flight of the two lovers, but it also signifies the turmoil within their hearts and within their minds, the problem, the raging, the emotion that were going through in their hearts, that were being personified in the nature as well. It also functions as a premonition of what is about to happen. There are a lot of aggressive imagery also. In the anger of Lord Ullin, who is in hot pursuit of the two lovers. These imageries provide visual appeal to the poem, and it also helps us to visualize the scene and help us to understand their condition, the two pitiable condition of the lovers. Let's discuss the title of the poem. Lord Ullin's Daughter is a poem that revolves around the tragic love story of Lord Ullin's daughter and the chieftain. The story covers right from her desperate effort to flee with her lover and cross Loch Gyle to her unequal struggle with the tempest and her eventual drowning in the sea. Hence, the poet has rightly chosen the title of the poem Lord Ullin's Daughter. So what is the theme of this poem? The poem is an account of the tragic end of the two lovers who choose to be together in death than to be forced by the world into living lives separately. They didn't want to live separately, and otherwise they want to die with each other. The poem depicts a conflict between them. The father, who is blinded by his ego, saw the depth of love at the end, but he couldn't help them at the end. So the poem conveys the message that rash decisions, that prompt decisions can lead to disastrous results. It can lead to disasters at the end. But for the ego, thoughtless stubbornness is not good for us at all. Lack of vision and foresight can bring tragedies into our lives. So students, I hope you have understood Lord Ullin's Daughter, and I hope you have enjoyed the poem, reading the poem with me. Thank you, students.